Live. Hi, I'm Michael.
And I'm Grace.
And together we are California Travel Videos. And today
we have traveled to Northern California, to Eureka, where they have opened the new Redwood Skyway.
well, this is a pleasant surprise. I was just wondering if we were going to have to go up by climbing a rope or something like that.
Treehouse.
I would call this the ultimate treehouse.
Incredibly, it's not really challenging my fear of heights too much because it's so well built.
Kind of getting up here.
It's getting up here. Okay, I spoke a little soon. I don't want to look down. I'm just going to look right at the camera and focus.
What if I jump?
No. I think I can. I think I can. Straight ahead.
And hello, I'm Michael.
And I'm Grace. And together
we are California Travel Videos. Woohoo! We're back.
We are back. Welcome. Tonight, Michael and I have acknowledged that this bioluminescence of a man walked into my life 10 years ago today. So happy 10-year anniversary, Michael.
Thank you. And a beautiful, very wise woman came and made me a better man. Thank you, Grace.
You're still illuminating my life.
That's right.
Welcome, everybody. I see Robert's here and Water Girl and Sue and Kenneth took a nap, so he's refreshed to be with us. Thank you, Captain Jack, for the shout out.
Absolutely. And good to have everybody here. We're going to have a good time today. We've got a couple awesome guests and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll ask you all to pop up also. So let's start off by talking a little bit about show and tell. So Grace, what's been going on in your life?
Show and tell from my life. I thought we weren't going to talk about that, honey.
Oh, well, there's a lot of different parts to our life.
I just showed and told regarding one of our latest videos from the Redwoods. I know we talked about it on the live show before we were going out on vacation. I had some of these fears and anxieties about height and overcoming the challenges. So I hope you guys get an opportunity to watch that video.
That is true. We started off going around the United States clockwise once again, like we did a couple of years ago. Oregon, I don't know if we ever saw the ocean, even though we were right next to it, but it was all fog. But hey, it's better than smoke or fire or floods, so I'm not going to complain too much. We got up to the state line to Washington, and there it was, the gorgeous canyon, the Columbia River. And so that we had some more heights there and had a wonderful bike ride there, didn't we, Grace?
We did, and we have all those coming up on videos, so we definitely hope, if you haven't yet, we'd love for you to subscribe. We also want to thank our moderators who are here, Kenneth and Sue. We appreciate you guys so very much.
We need to have a little something there. I'll start with this one.
You nailed it.
They nail it. Thank you so much for that. They are great mods, and we appreciate all that they do. And so let's talk a little bit about their challenges for a second.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so Sue, Lucky Dog Adventures, her and her husband, they have a phenomenal channel there, and they've been pumping out the live streams many years, and I admire them so much. They have, it's like everybody's their family, their friends, and so they're a great channel. I really think they got a good thing going. And once in a while, if I get up real early in the morning, I don't know what to do, I can go, I can't remember what day of the week it is, Sue. But be sure to put your link down there too. We'd like that. And for Kenny, aka Mr. Fordman himself, super guy, the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. And it was so nice to get to see him when he got along with some fellow RVers that have come by. Marshall, that was really nice. I love that video where you got together with one of your bros. Thank you, Kenneth.
Sorry about that. I'm going to be in and out tonight as we have some guests here with us, and they have yet to determine what is important and what's not.
How'd you get over there? I was over here.
Okay. Let me fix that. We're moving around pieces.
We're shuffling.
There.
Wow, look at that. As
Now
if
you're
by
over
magic.
there.
These are not dicks in the Titanic, I hope. Hopefully this is going to be a smooth show today. But, I got to say is that in our rigs, I mean, Grace has, the basic setup we got her going, and it works just so fine. And look at, she's got a nice fan in the background there. There we go. Nice fan in the background. And in my office, I don't know, Grace, there's no hope for me with all these monitors, but I've got Kaliki, our Siberian Husky, over in the corner. I think he's still there. So
He's not feeling good.
Oh, he's feeling just okay. I had to take a little nap myself today, so hopefully I'm not going to be too grouchy. I'll be a little bit more perky. I'm going to do, Kenny's thing is sometimes a power nap is the best you can do.
A perky, Michael. That's always a good idea. And
I think so.
I see Sippy Cup is here as well as Water Boy. So we have the whole water family with us. Welcome.
We do good. And nothing like the water gods. So thank you for being here. And Fairy Dust sees Jennifer there. Yeah, that's right. We've got her in. So it's good to have you all here. And so we've got a pretty good show today, as we started to say. So first up is going to be the cups, the sippy cups. And Grace, we like
sippy cup today.
I guess mine qualifies also for a sippy cup. And when we were in with the X Capers, it starts with letter X, part of the Escapees subgroup, the Escapers there at the Grand Tetons, actually. It was called Driggs, Idaho, right next to Montana, don't you know? And so, yeah, we had our sippy cups there. We like to call them pub crawls, but I guess this was called a lot crawl, wasn't it?
This was a lot crawl, yeah. I kept saying pub crawl, but it was a lot crawl because we were in a parking lot. And they broke it into sections. So first they had the van and small rigs. And then second, they had the general section, which we were in, which was, no, actually second was family.
Right.
And then third was general or solar. Maybe we were last. Nonetheless, we were broken into 4 separate sections. And we got to visit with some of our fellow escapers, as well as enjoy some libations, as Michael likes to say.
That's true. I think that's why they call it a crawl, Grace, is because after you've gone about 3 or 4 hours of this, you're maybe not standing. It's safer to be lowered to the ground, better gravity.
And we got to see a lot of different rigs. Like there was a converted tool truck. And then there was a 1947 or a 1948 bus that Michael goes into that included a tub. So that's our last video out with the Escapers. If you haven't seen that yet. Not
just a bus. It was a fast dog. It was a Greyhound bus conversion.
True. It was a Greyhound bus. We need to see if they have a channel and link that.
Yeah, but I was telling some of the people there when I was going through it, I mean, everything was heavy metal. I mean, you felt like you were in a locomotive, that baby. I don't know, going up a hill or stopping it down a hill. But man, it had like, they put in a shower/bathtub. I mean, a big one, and it was all had copper on it. It was like, they went all out, and it's so fun to see where people, they put their love in what they do. And I've got to say, Tim, when it comes to more bang for your buck, is that it doesn't have to be a lot of money or a big thing. It's like, but the creativity that people put in them. And I think that's so fun. And I guess we're going to be looking forward to that in January. We're probably our next big trip. Sorry, we can't make to, this state, everybody goes like, oh yes, in Michigan, we're going to go to this part of the state. To me, it's just a palm of my hand. Yes. Or Mayberry. We'd love to be in both those places, but our next one will be, it looks to me like we're going to be to part of Court Side 22, I guess it'll be. But for sure, when the Escapers get to one of Grace's favorite places in the winter, Grace, tell us where we're going to go in January.
Lake Havasu.
Lake Havasu. Yeah. Oh, look at that. She's got I thought I had the puppy in here. Well, he's making the rounds, isn't he?
Come and say hello.
He said, what did I do wrong? How come I don't?
Let me pick up my lap, dog.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
He's got bad breath. He's got bad teeth.
We all have bad breath and teeth, don't we?
You got to go to the doctor. You go to the doctor? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And KW, good question. What about Twin Falls, Idaho? Well, yes, you know, we call
KW.
we used to KW. We used to call it Shoshone, and then when we were there with Grace's friends, well, Kathy and Mike, they went one up more than the lot call. I mean, that was like the tequilas were that margaritas, yikes! Not much dinner, but we had a liquid dinner that night.
Honey, don't you notice something kind of familiar about KW? Like maybe Kathy W?
No.
I see you.
You talk about people, the best of friends, when, you know, they, I got to say, talk about being treated like king and queen. So we're looking forward to sending something off their way. So they're going to have to wait just a little bit, but stay tuned, right? Could never match the hospitality they gave us. So great people.
It's in the mail.
And we realize now that it's not Shoshone Falls. We, you know, the first time we went Shoshone, Shoshone. We've got it, even though it has an E in the end, but we're learning things.
I think it's about that time.
It is getting close.
Okay, well, first of all, I need to make an apology. Last week's show, we were doing up and coming new YouTubers. And we had introduced our guests, and we were kind of perplexed as to why they weren't there. Well, long story short, after being out on the road, I got a lot of things.
She was juggling. You were juggling a lot, Grace.
Yeah, and my calendar, I was the one who made an error. So I actually had invited them for September the 4th. I'm sorry. So sorry.
So we need to have them, you know, if they have the link, they can go ahead and come in the, I don't know, green room, they call it. Go ahead and come and join us on the show. So there is a link that we sent you. But if you didn't get it, up at the top of the YouTube, there should be a pinned link. It says live stream link, https://streamyard.com QS7NZJX3. You're never going to remember that, but you can just click that link.
The top of the chat. So,
should be at the top of the chat.
Sippy Cup, if you see that link at the top, they're trying again. They are currently in beautiful San Francisco. So they're going to go ahead and try to get in. And while we wait, I am going to go ahead and replay the little video introduction from last week. Let me go ahead and show that to you.
Oh.
If you're looking for trips in Northern California, hopefully we could be of help here on Sippy Cup Adventures. So today we're going to talk about our day at Donner Lake. Cheers.
Cheers. It's to use their toys and the other amenities that they offer.
Water toys.
Water toys.
You lost me on toys. I'm trying to overcome that.
Water toys, people. Where are your minds at?
So the link will be below in the description, but if you're interested in booking with Captain Nick, search the Get My Boat app. There's a 3-hour sailing experience on North Lake Tahoe.
Hey, welcome to Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California. We think we have another great lake for you to check out. This one's in Placer County. Coming up in just a minute.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, I was
going.
doing the same thing. Were you doing it when it was going?
How to do that.
They are a party couple, aren't they, there? So
I don't know what's in that sippy cup. So once they figure out how to get on here, and in the meantime, my friend Kathy is here, and she says she always has margaritas and homemade. I have to tell you about that salsa.
Time out. That salsa, you know, it should be have a patent. That stuff is so good. I gotta tell you
about that salsa. Michael's going to tell you about that salsa.
Everyone is going to talk about her salsa.
Okay. I am a salsa snob. I will walk into a Mexican restaurant. First thing I will do is I will taste the salsa. If the salsa does not wow me from the very beginning, I know the whole dining experience is going to go downhill. Kathy's salsa, we're moving in.
It rocks. It's
We're
true.
moving in. We'll be back.
Yeah. But I got to say, the thing is that when it's good salsa, and they have that little saucer that they have it out, don't let it get on Grace's side of the table because it goes quick. More salsa, please. And they were very generous with that. So that was pretty fun. Yes. I would be drinking the margaritas too, says Sue. Oh, yes,
Michael,
you would.
give me the show for a minute while I converse with our guest and see if we can't get them into the basement.
Okay, I see that Robert says he'll be willing to come if they're going to be a while there. So thank you for being down there. And I'll go ahead and I guess they're on the phone and they're doing a little bit of chatting. And so as we mentioned, is that RV Weekends is also going to be here. Robert, great guy. And I was just kind of poking around a little bit. And he has, since he started his channel, and he had another channel that was very successful, but he has his own now. And I think he's got well over 150 views. So he is pumping them out. And that's one thing for those of you who do produce or appreciate others who produce, is like, if you get them like once a month, and when we get on the road, sometimes it's like, well, how often should we do it? Well, we've got to see the sites and we're recording things, and then you get more videos that you have to produce. And, when sometimes you've got like several hours to go through and 7 gigabytes of files, it's can be a little bit daunting, but we like doing the live streams on Saturdays whenever we can. We had a little glitch out on the road. My laptop, well, like 2 years ago, I don't know if it shakes or something, but it says, I do not want to boot, Michael. And so I just yesterday, I'll go get it. It has not been opened, but I'm going to go around the corner here and show.
We're revealing the package. This is going to be for me too. I'm excited.
Oh boy. Here is the box from Costco. Oops, upside down. But it says it has a UN 3481. I guess that talks about that it has a lithium polymer battery, I guess, to Michael Nisler. And let's go ahead and just, this is the first time I've done this, Grace, but we're going to have a minute here. And, like Casey Neistat does, you get your nice knife out there, flip it open, and let's see what is inside. Now, this is, I got it from Costco, and, some of the ones, they're like, do they have enough horsepower? What's the speed of the graphics processor? Because when you're rendering it, you need a fairly good amount of power, or else you get out the calendar rather than the stopwatch for it to go. So it is a nice box, and there she be. You know that icon? I wonder if anybody knows that icon of the dragon in the shield. Tell me which company makes it. If you know that. It's the same company of the laptop I have. I've had that one for about 5 or 6 years. If you've got it, go ahead and put there and I'll take a look. First person that tells me what it is, if they do, before I announce it, we'll give you a $10 Amazon gift card. How about that? You can go ahead and do a little Google search if you want to. There, once again, it is. It's one of the leading handful of one of the top 10 laptop makers. They make more ones that are gaming intensive. And this one has one of the faster Intel CPUs and a nice NVIDIA graphics card. Does anybody give it a try? Don't see anybody that said. So, okay, I'm going to keep going then. I'll have to have something else there that says True Gaming on the box as I open it up. And we're getting a little closer. That's one thing. It's nice when they get good wrapping. And when UPS, by the way, delivered it, they just dropped it off at the front door. I mean, I've had things that are $200 or $300 that, they just make you sign for it. But this one, I just left it at the front door. So I think a little more of it. I'm not going to leave it outside of the front door. Anyway, here it is. And here's the box it comes with. It is MSI.
Nothing says steal me like the big old battery emblem on a box that looks like.
Right. Well, you know how the FAA is. I can't blame them. I mean, or transportation is that TSA, they don't want stuff to be on planes that's going to be sparking and catching fires. There was a Sony incident about 5 years ago. They had batteries that were more powerful than everybody else's, but they were a little too powerful. And they caught a fire on a plane in the overhead. So they limited how much power you can have on the plane. But hey, I think we finally got it. And there it is. It's got a nice 17-inch monitor, I do believe. Whoo! So that's going to be my baby, our new baby. Because Grace, you know, she gets editing Photoshop files too. And recently she started producing videos. So Grace, tell us a little bit about your videos.
Wait.
What equipment you're using to edit videos when you're at home?
Did I just hear you say, so this is my new?
I said ours, didn't I say our? Everybody, rewind.
If he said ours,
our
put
new.
a 1. If he said mine, put a 2.
Ours, 3.
Ours. That's ours. And yes, I am editing as well now. You'll always tell whose video is whose because Michael's are a little bit more polished and perfection, but you got to wait 2 or 3 weeks for them to get out. Mine just get done. And they're not perfect.
Right. Oh, Robert was down there in the green room. I was going to have him come up as soon as I got through with that, but now he has slipped away. So, Robert, if you were there, you see, my internet is weak for some reason. Okay, yeah. Well, that's okay. This is the way it is. We may just have to ad-lib the whole show, but doggone it. That's the way these things are. And Grace is off again. So, okay. I'm going to just go ahead and we're going to go over to their sites while we're waiting. And so, you know how many monitors I have here? I got my laptop there. The monitor that is for StreamYard that I'm transmitting to you on is here. I've got Wirecast down on this big monitor. On the one I'm talking to you, I actually have the benefit of having a teleprompter, and I can see your text there. So it says, Frederick Heron. Hey, Frederick, at Fordman, aka Kenneth Oaks, and a nice little clapping signal. Yeah, he's good. And Sippy Cup says, sorry, technical difficulties. I don't know. IDK. I'm sorry about that, but we'll just keep trying. I know sometimes when we're out on the road, when we were doing that crawl, the lot crawl or RV crawl, is that, yeah, our internet connectivity was not that good. If you don't have at least 3 to 4 megabits per second upload, sometimes not so good. So what was I going to show you? Oh, we were going to take a look at the laptop here. So if I go on, hit this button, I think that takes me over to the laptop. And rather than having a big Michael, let's get a little Michael down in the corner here. And yeah, I think we're transmitting all pretty well there. So I need to go to the screen now, and I have to get my keyboard over to that computer. So I think that is this one. Yeah, that did it. And I do believe there is the Sippy Cup. So, okay, so there is their site. Let's talk a little bit about them. So they're growing 216 subs. You got ways before they get monetized. And they're out there by Sacramento area. And it says Northern California. Romantic travels. Now, what could describe a couple that loves and has their passion about seeing the great outdoors? So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit more room here. I see we've got something kind of blocking part of the screen. Control, page down, and I can go up there and get rid of the comment. Okay. There, we got a little bit more room, and then control, page down to get back to that screen. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on here. Okay, so at any rate, let's take a look at some of their videos. They are, and I don't know if they're there. I don't think so. I think they're more in the San Francisco area again, but Calaveras Big Trees State Park. And Awesome video. And I guess I haven't ever been to, I've seen so many redwood parks. We're near a couple of them here, one north of us, about 20 miles, another south of us, about the same. And going up, as we were going up towards Oregon, as I mentioned earlier, great time up there. And so, yeah, that's a really cool video they did. And remember where they used to have once in a while one of these where you could drive your car through the logs, at least in the 20s and 30s when the cars were a little bit more narrow. And I think one of the trees there, over the years, 70, 80, 90 years later, it did fall over, sadly. But there is a lot to see there. And they have, I don't know if you've been up there, but the temperature, if it's hot in the summertime now, it's maybe 20 degrees cooler. So we've been up to Garberville, might be 100 degrees, and you go 2 miles into the redwoods, and all of a sudden it's in the 70s. And so, I hope that we will have our trees in the future, and it helps to keep the world a cooler and more comfortable place. And being up in the Sacramento area, going, maybe about 40 miles east there, right up in the Sierras, and Donner Lake. And when we were in Donner Lake, we just love that up there. I'm a sissy when it comes to cold water, but that water in the summertime, you wouldn't think at like 7,000 feet it would be that warm, but it was just really beautiful. I wonder, have any of you all been to the Sierras? Why don't you give me a 1 if you've been to the Sierras up there near Interstate 80 or not, but just somewhere in that area. Love to hear from you. And what do you think about the Sierras, Grace?
Well, right now, I think that the Sierras and all of our California forests really need our prayers. It's really, really heartbreaking. Again, here in California, the fires are going. When Michael and I came home through Reno, the air quality was over 300.
300, not like, 30 is a normal day, 70 to 100, it's getting high. And it was like, we've had it like really bad days, maybe 200 days if fires are nearby, but never we've seen 300. So yeah, it was, we only stayed one night. We were coming back from, we went from Idaho coming south and got to, did we get into Oregon? No, we were in Oregon for a little bit of it there. And we came into Nevada. And when we got to Winnemucca, it's not a place you normally spend a lot of time. But then we went into Reno and said we'll spend the night, and that was right where the smoke was at. It had lifted for a couple hours. When the cool temperatures come off of the ocean and the winds blow to the east, it was okay for a couple hours. But by the time we went to bed, you could taste it.
Definitely. So this couple has spent a lot of time in Tahoe, and we have worked through the kinks. And again, I'm going to accept responsibility because I juggled things way too quickly. But we are very happy to introduce with you Darren and Patty from Sippy Cup Adventures. Welcome.
Hey, they made it. Here's to you guys. Ching, ching.
Ching, I want some of that. Oh, okay, so here's my cup. Ching. The first thing I want to know, what's in your cup? Uh-oh, they got the mute on.
Oh, we can't hear you, but man, we can, the word, what did they say? A picture is 1,000 words and video is 10,000.
This was a special night for Gentleman Jack. Okay, there's a mute button. You'll see a microphone. It doesn't say that it's muted though.
Yeah, you're not muted on our side, but maybe on your side you've got a mute somewhere. Check test 1, 2, 3.
Check.
Sippy Cup Adventures. We can see your lips moving, but I cannot read the lips quite as well as I thought. So, you want puppets? Okay, here's my puppet. Unmute yourself if possible. We cannot hear you yet.
We are going to get this.
We are going to.
This is the fun part about doing
I will entertain while.
I start twisting my hair. Oh, that's my puppet.
I'm just a sheep. I'm just a sheep here. Hi. Bah. Bah.
Mute my.
Man, they are pushing buttons right and left, but they are not finding the unmute audio for
so
microphone.
in the comments, we'll do it a different way. In the comments, tell us what you're in San Francisco for tonight.
Yeah, that's right. You can go ahead and we can type some messages and we'll get some Q&A. So as I mentioned before, they've got some great videos in Northern California. And so they do like to have a good time and enjoy their music. Water gods and goddesses also, like we got a couple in ours here that do that. But if you want to, Sippy Cup is just go ahead and type something on your comments, and we can go ahead and when you tell us about what's going on in your life. I don't know. Grace, do we know where they're at today?
They're in San Francisco tonight. There's an event.
You know what we could do? Could you call them on the phone and we could just you do a relay of what they're saying? We could be creative.
Let's see here.
In fact, I wonder if I had them call our number, if I could just patch it through.
On the call number?
Yeah. Why don't I see if I can get that going? Hold on just a second. Grace, I'll let you entertain now.
Let me entertain you. Let me make you smile. All right. So, yeah, go ahead and give me a call and then I can translate. Or maybe I could just put the speaker on. Let's see.
Well, our phone lines are not working. So much
What?
for
Our
that
phone
idea.
lines are not working?
No, we're so much on, our cell phones as at our home lines.
Hello. He hung up on me.
Oh, she hung up on you? Oh, man. It's like that.
Hello.
Hello? It's real interesting when it comes to, I don't know if you're using a laptop.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh.
Can you guys hear?
A little bit. Honey, did you put it next to the microphone?
They're like Emmy Awards for YouTube. Are we on like Candid Camera or something? I mean, seriously. Can you hear us in the microphone?
Can you guys hear? There might be feedback though. Is it creating feedback?
This is great.
If it gets too close. Why don't you relay what they're saying, Grace? Just put it next to your ear, and I think that'd be the best way.
All right. So tell us what you're doing in San Francisco. Why don't you try it from your iPhone? Yeah. You'll still see it on your iPad, but you'll be transmitting from your iPhone. So I'll hang up and hit the link through your iPhone and see if that connects you. There. Okay, we're going to try this again.
Well, look at this. We do have another instance I see coming up here.
You. Hello.
Well, we can hear you.
Ta-da!
Hey! Tenacity pays off.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn the volume off on my iPad.
Now, how's that for being tenacious? So we know that this couple does videos about Northern California. We also know that this couple is tenacious.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Like I said, we're in the tech world, San Francisco of all over the place, right? And we can't seem to get connection, but we are staying here tonight for a trance music event that we're going to tonight late. So we're into the trance and EDM music. So we're in San Francisco for that. And yeah, that's why, we got on our sippy cups, our little trance logos and things. So we're here for a music event.
So tell me more. Is trance a music style or?
Yes, it's a music style. It's a lot of people would know it as techno, but we don't like to say techno. So we are in our mid 50s, yet we enjoy electronic progressive house music. So go figure. And that's a part of what Sippy Cup Adventure is about. Sippy Cup Adventures is about getting out to a waterway, a lake, the beach, a river, listening to your favorite music and having cocktails. And that's what Sippy Cups is about. We don't hike. We don't camp. We're kind of the lazy Gen Xers or baby boomers. We're kind of on the cusp. So, 80s music and 70s music, I'm sorry, guys, we got bored of it. And so we're done with it. So we moved on to electronic stuff. So no more Led Zeppelin for us.
Well, I'm kind
was
of
never
stuck in
really.
the 70s. I'm a baby boomer, so I grew up with. Yes, I grew up in the disco days, and I was a disco duck.
Don't judge her.
I don't.
We got over it.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
listen,
so proud of it.
we still on our iTunes have the best of Ambrosia. We have Elton John. We have
ABBA.
ABBA. We have all that kind of stuff. So I mean, but we've kind of just got tired of the radio stuff. But now it's all about trance music, and I'll share a video with you guys. You guys would be amazed. But listen, it's about just getting out and being with your significant other, and going to a waterway, listening to your music, and having some cocktails. So we appreciate what you guys do. We love your videos, and thanks for following us. And if I may, when we started this YouTube journey, it was always about find a niche, right? Find that niche. And so
Actually, yes.
our niche was travel in Northern California. That's where we go. We don't really venture out to other places beyond that. So we found that niche and kept with that and made some new videos about a year ago of old stays and had old, film and put together some videos. And then we were about romantic travels. So it was kind of a niche within a niche. Well, we kind of got rid of that. So there's a lot of beauty, as you guys know, to see in Northern California, a lot to explore. So we're doing okay. We're getting some subscribers and getting some followers and getting some watch time. So for us, it's about getting outdoors and not necessarily hiking or not necessarily camping. There's a place for a lot of, great video creators for that, but we'll stick to our trips here in Northern California.
Well,
Wonderful.
yeah, I've enjoyed some of your different places that you find, because not everybody has the available means to go RVing. So, if you're still working and you only have a weekend and you don't have the funds, or you don't want to put all the funds into that type of a lifestyle, it's awesome to be able to pick up and go to a cabin, or to go even to a hotel or a houseboat, or a sailboat like I've seen you do. So I that's one thing we love. YouTube is a world big enough for all of us, and when it comes to niching, Michael will often say niche down. And that's what you're doing, is you're finding your brand, you're finding what works best for you, and you're doing it.
Yeah, and I like, your videos where you guys do go camping and you give a little bit of a review. I think that, those are awesome, and I could watch those all day long. I think camping reviews of places in Northern California, I think it's kind of an untapped market, and you guys do some of that. And I know you go to Oregon and Washington. I know you've been back east, but those, that's just another offset of the channel that you could do, even more of, when you get out, when you're able to get out and we're not all smoked out and everything. But we love the reviews of the campgrounds that you do. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you guys do a great job with that.
You just hit a nerve there, because one of the views or videos we were going to get out, and I thought, sometimes it's you only have what you see, or sometimes you do some research ahead of time, and sometimes we do the research after time. And there's a state park not 10 miles south of us, Olampali. And I got to say, I don't know about you when you were like, in fourth grade, and the California students, you must learn about the missions. And, it's like, I can see like after 100 woven baskets, the next 100 don't mean much to me, or the arrowheads, or, oh yeah, that's nice. Sure. But I got to say, when we went down to Olampali, and actually, when we think about the origin of California as a state, that it started at Sonoma, but actually some of the first wars that were fought with the Spanish were down at Olampali. And so It's like, well, okay, there is some history here that's interesting about the formation of our great state, when Sutter and they found the gold. But the thing that surprised me was in the 1970s, I guess 60s and 70s, is that some of the really famous musicians of the time from Haight-Ashbury, in fact, that some of the people that they founded this place at Olampolly. It was kind of before it was a state park. It was the Jesuits had it, and then this other people who I don't know. Do you know where in Sausalito, California, just north of San Francisco, where they have the houseboats?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the two brothers who developed that and made a lot of money, millions, which was a lot back in those
You're breaking
days.
up, Michael.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
We can
hear you.
Okay,
one
it's
thing
just
that is
two.
working. We can hear you.
Okay. So anyway, they said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be like the chosen people, man. And we're going to go ahead and make bread down there for Haight-Ashbury. And, when you get to tell us some of the people there, Grateful Dead, I guess, Janis Joplin. Who were some of them there, honey?
Santana.
Pardon me?
Santana.
I don't know.
Santana probably went by there. I think
Otis Redding, I guess, in that area.
The Deadheads, the Grateful Dead, Otis Redding, Grace Slick. But one of the things that I learned from that video when we were making it, and that's the fun part. I don't know about you guys, but when we're doing the discovery, I get so engrossed. And sometimes Michael and I both have a tendency to want everybody to drink from the funnel, because we find all this information and all this history. And my trivia history from Olampolly was, we all think that Otis Redding was sitting on the dock of the bay regarding San Francisco. He was down at those houseboats is when he wrote in Sausalito. So he was looking at San Francisco, sitting on the dock of the bay.
Sausalito. Sausalito and Tiburon area. I mean, it's a beautiful area. And I know that they have those houseboats, that you can rent for Airbnb, and it's something we've considered doing a Sippy Cup adventure and renting those houseboats down there.
But not a mobile houseboat. Not like you're going to drive it around.
No, you just You just sit.
Yeah. But no, that's a good point. Is we loved your last video where you did when you're not the last one, but one of the recent ones where you're up there at Tahoe, and you like to go out with your family and your extended family that will be growing in the future. But so I guess that's really cool. Do you normally? I shouldn't say this. I know normally you go out with just the two of you, but in some of the cases you go out. Is it?
We'll bring others.
Just kind of whenever it works, or do you have a certain time of the year you like to go out with your extended family?
Well, I want to say something that's unique about today's trip is that it's normally about a 2-hour and 10-minute drive. We live in Roseville outside of Sacramento to get to San Francisco, but it took us about an extra 45 minutes. And then A, it's Labor Day, but B, the mountains are closed, right?
Right.
So everyone that would be heading up to Tahoe and up to the national parks up there camping, they're all
closed.
They're all closed, so they're all heading to the Bay Area. But Sippy Cups Adventures is mostly about us. And the video that you're referring to, Michael, was our son in the Navy was able to finally get leave. Him and his girlfriend came, and we did a family video. And for our subscribers,
2 years.
Yeah, it was more of a video about our family. But it's typically the two of us. And more recently, when we went to Donner Lake, we did have another a friend of ours that are YouTube creators from Florida who we follow, and they follow us. And she's out working in Northern California. So we're kind of showing her the ropes and showing her California. And we're going to hook up with them tomorrow because they're coming to San Francisco because the husband's coming from Florida to go out and visit. So it's, Michael, to answer your question, it's mostly the two of us. We're in our mid 50s. We don't quite have the empty nest yet. Is our 23-year-old still with us? Good kid. He does everything. So it's not quite the empty nest. So this is our empty nest, is to be able to get out.
Well,
awesome.
We had our guest last week that Nick, his tagline is interrupting retirement. And Michael and I had a great conversation on that today is, and what Nick always says is we're not our parents. We're not going to retire, pick up the crochet needle, get in a rocking chair and just, hi, grandkids,
Nope.
and
Nope.
let life pass us by. We're going to retire and we're going to continue to learn. We're going to continue to seek adventures. We're going to continue to challenge ourselves. And I think all these things are going to keep us young. But if I'm going to be anybody's parents, I'm going to be Michael's mom because she's 94 and still with it.
Lucky, you got to, what do they say? Cut hay while the cut hay
Make
while the
hay
sun is
while the
shining.
sun shines.
Oh, I like
Exactly. So what's your air quality? Now, somebody asked a question. Los Angeles, by the way, it's 46 is the AQI, which is
that's
good. When I used to live in like Anaheim, which Orange County, just about 20 miles south of Los Angeles for about 3-4 years, and I would go into Los Angeles. Yeah, in the summertime, it would be very smoggy. And, the Californians, they've been trying to do things over the years to improve the air quality by having less pollutants in the gas. And so anyway, it's kind of funny because I saw one bumper sticker that kind of said it all. You're on the freeway, going slow in the traffic, said, clean air smells funny. Some people can have a good laugh with this, but on your trips, have some of the places you've been, have you seen some of the smoke, or how's it been for you all?
Well, it has been. And one thing about Sippy Cup Adventures that Patty will say, what's our motto?
Oh, we like to get away from barking dogs, screaming kids, and humans.
Not that we have anything against barking dogs, screaming kids, and humans, but another thing, Michael and Grace, is that most of our trips are spontaneous, and we need to tell you, with the fires that have been happening and living in Northern California, we have to be more spontaneous than ever. Because, Michael, if you think about all the people that reserved a weekend in Tahoe the first week of August, and they couldn't go because they're saying you need to don't come. And so now they got to wrangle with their Airbnb or with their hotels to get their money back. But Tahoe was saying, please don't come. And with the smoke, this kind of transitions into your topic of the day about RVing. We don't RV, but we are interested in RVing because we looked up about full-time RVing. We don't own a home. So the big scare factor is that we don't have anywhere to go back to. So we were kind of against it, right? I'm not a fix-it guy. But if we owned a home, I wouldn't be a fix-it guy. So, fix on a small thing. But now that discussion amongst Patty and I has kind of come to fruition again because it's frustrating living in Northern California, despite all the beauty. So
but
now
we love it.
Right. We do love it. But now that we have, if we were to get full-time RVing, we can now dodge the fires. And the consensus is a lot of people are saying, oh, we got to get out of California. Well, where are you going to go? To Idaho, Washington, Oregon, where there's our smoke?
Fires.
There's just as many fires and our smoke. So transitioning to your topic of RVing, we have never RV'd. We would like to possibly learn about it. We do know this, that we would be what class?
A class.
Class A.
Oh, okay.
You go for the big boy.
Yeah,
we would out the black water tank.
Right.
We cannot cook in the little tiny tow trailer because we set the fire alarms off all the time.
That's how you know when dinner's ready.
That's how when I know Grace is. That's my dinner call. I don't need a bell. I have the alarm that goes off. No, but seriously, it turns out that I think a lot of it, and I may be mistaken, but I'd be curious for you, is that if we take a look at our grandparents and then what they transmitted to their kids, your parents, and then like my parents were both teachers. So, they did a lot of camping. Grace had some experiences with camping, and she certainly, when we got married and after some years, she was, I'd like to give it a try, but she didn't want it to be in a tent. That was for damn sure. So I'm just curious, when you guys were kids, did your parents take you out camping or not?
Again, you guys are magic. This is another beautiful transition. Patty's got a great story to you why she doesn't like camping. And maybe there are people out there that will understand and forgive this. So here's Patty's story growing up.
All right. So this is when I'm a teenager and, girls, we're little primpy and all that. But my parents would take us out to the local reservoir and we would camp the entire summer. And it was If you want to take a shower or a bath, you jump in the lake. If you want to eat, you eat hot dogs and hamburgers. And
Oh my God.
The trip into town was to get groceries, and you got to go take a real shower. And so I was always the first one in line going, I'll go.
Yes.
Yeah, it was not a pleasant experience. Oh, I will glam, give me a real bed in a tent that's off the ground about, 4 feet. I'm good. But
yeah, and Patty, the family didn't have a whole lot of money, and she's become extremely successful for what she does. I'm so proud of what she's accomplished in life, because it was tough growing up for her, and that's what they would do at the summer was go to the lake.
It was cheap.
It was cheap.
Camping was cheap.
And spend all summer there. So I can understand her fear of water initially, but now we do get in the water, and her dismay for, camping. I grew up, we'd go to camp every once in a while. We did it with Indian guides and Gray Y, if you remember that, the YMCA based. We did camping that way. We go to the cabins. Of course, we did the 6th grade outdoor education, but we didn't do a ton of camping. So, Class A, if we go RVing, we know the Class A, we need a little bit of luxury. We got to have that nice restroom.
Glamping.
And we've done glamping. Yeah, we've done glamping.
Yeah, we've got like Linda Barker here, and then I see also Daryl with Van City Adventures, and he's got a bigger rig, and so it is interesting. I see some people they start with a small rig, then they want bigger. They start with one that's too big and they can't get around enough. I don't know if there's any happy medium, but in your case, once you discover who you are and what you want, and so for you to go out in the daytime, and if you want to check in at a hotel or bed and breakfast or whatever, you can do that. But the thing that I think what you really discovered is that there is so much to see in Northern California. I'm just curious, I don't think you usually just point your finger and go away. So do you like to go online, or do you get books, or how do you discover, where you would like to go next? Is it word of mouth?
No, I have a bucket list of places from other video creators, including yourselves, that I put down. And whenever we go, there's 2 things that we factor in, is the weather and, now if there's going to be smoke. So we know that we're not going to go to Tahoe in a normal year between June 1st and August 31st. We're not even going to try. We know that the best weather and the best place, is to go in Tahoe in September and October. We could find a place on the coast, but you might get the June gloom, right? Like you guys experienced up in Oregon and Washington.
Yes.
I'm not going to go to the coast and get fogged in. That's okay if it's 110 in the valley. So to answer your question, we will go to TripAdvisor, we'll go to Airbnbs. And if we want to know, we know that we can get a place on the coast anywhere within a week's time and get a nice Airbnb stay. So everything, 99% of the time, it is spontaneous, and it's usually a hotel or Airbnb stay.
Yeah. So you have proficiency, it sounds like, when it comes to knowing where to look online. I'm sure over the years you've probably got some new things, but I agree is that, like, if you can do some research by watching YouTube is one of the top ways that we find. Google searches too, sure. And then there are some sites that can be helpful, but we've just found is that there's so many treasures, and I guess there's probably in all states there are. I wonder if any of the other people want to sign in with some things that you found in your state that you didn't really first anticipate. But I guess, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. So Grace and I, at first we had our RV, and then we thought, well, at least me more than her, wouldn't it be nice if we could have, besides walking, is to have some bikes, and I could get like a rack on the back and get some e-bikes and make sure it's safe, because that was one of our things we're concerned with. But then, after that, it was like, wow, look at these people that have kayaks. We don't have room for kayaks. And would an inflatable kayak work? And we started, like, you start paying more attention to people that have them, which ones are the ones that get the good Amazon reviews or whatever. But we love the water also. And this was kind of something new for us. So when we were, I know.
Yeah, he does all that work.
Yes, that's right. But we were at the Grand Tetons and the Teton River. It has a lot of undulations, and Grace and I think we improved our proficiency in terms of, well, where's the sandbar? We don't want to get stuck again on the sandbar.
Yeah.
But if we go on the other side where it's really running fast, so I think what I've found is we like to grow at new things, and you don't have to have an RV to do that, do you? I mean, you can go out, like when you say, well, we'll go out on the Lake Tahoe and find within our budget where we can all go out in a sailboat. And so your discovery, I guess, is it sounds like you're quite to your name. You are sippy cup, and you definitely are adventurous.
Yes, and I noticed that your kayak too makes a good umbrella. Apparently, when it starts to rain. So I mean,
guilty as charged.
I know I asked you in your comments. Did anyone not check the weather forecast that it was going to be pouring and thunder and lightning?
Saw that.
And don't discount the wind.
Yeah, that was mild compared to the next 2 days. The next 2 days, we were in our RV the whole time because there was so much thunder, lightning, and rain.
But for us, this is a blessing. Some people is like when they say about the little kid Johnny, when he goes up to the tree at Christmas time and there's all this horse manure around it, but he's very happy because he knows there's a little pony in there somewhere. And in our case, it was in the 90 degrees when we got there, and we thought,
yes,
come on, it's like 7,000 feet. Come on. And our Siberian Husky, this isn't good. We can't go kayaking with him. But when the weather got cloudy the next day, we saw this as a good thing because he'll be a happy camper in the RV. And if we get a little wet, well, hey, it's here. You see my hat?
Free
Look,
shower.
What does my hat say?
Bad decisions make good stories.
Awesome. When we did I did a video a couple of videos ago about places to stay in Tahoe, and what I've learned is that we enjoy that you get a resort because a lot of it's inclusive. They have their own beaches, so you don't have to fight the crowds and go try to find a beach and pay for it. If you get a resort that has the amenities, the kayaks, stand-up paddle boards, that you may have to pay $35 to $40 for the day, that beats everything. But another tip is when you call these resorts, because a lot of these units are individually owned by homeowners, and so they don't reflect on hotels.com or TripAdvisor. Do it the old school way and call these resorts and ask if there's availability, especially if it's going to be spontaneous. If you need to plan for June, July, or August, yes, you got to do it 6 months in advance. But in a couple of weeks' time, it pays to sometimes call these resorts in Tahoe and other locations that are highly seeked, and just do it the old-fashioned way and call them and see what they have, because it may not necessarily reflect on the myriad of websites that are out there for travel.
Well, that is so true. You wonder sometimes if people, they want to keep their secrets, and I don't know. When we go, Grace, I don't think we have places that we're not going to share because we want it to be our special place.
We share everything except Shaver Lake, the best spot to camp.
Where is it? Shaver Lake?
Shaver Lake, Shaver, south of the Sierra National Forest.
Right. I want to go back and touch on what you guys were saying regarding the traffic going to San Francisco, as well as to tie that into how we make our choices and decisions based on, the current events and what's going on. But I actually was right smack in your neighborhood yesterday in the Roseville area. Oh. And, I'm not going to say from Sacramento. I say I did 10 years time in Sacramento Valley. So my kids and my family are all there. Yeah. So I know the traffic patterns like I know the back of my hand. I've made that trip more times than I can count. And yesterday was surreal and sad. I got an early start at 9 a.m. because it's Friday. And it's Labor Day weekend. And I'm driving to Sacramento when I realize I'm moving. Why am I moving? It's Friday. It's Labor Day weekend. The roads are supposed to be packed. There was no traffic because nobody's going to Tahoe. Nobody's going to Reno. So that's doing a shift. It's probably like you said, when you went to San Francisco, it's kind of going the other direction. But I think we're all here in Northern California kind of planning now on a day by day. And it takes away from the being spontaneous,
I think that, there are many more factors beyond the fires that we have that we don't understand. What it did for you was made your traffic and your trip much easier on a Friday going to Sacramento when everyone would be heading up 80 to Lake Tahoe. Consequently, for us, it took forever and a day to get here because everyone, I mean, a little bit longer
it
because
felt like it.
of everything, going. And so the Northern California, listen, we are challenged by these fires, but there is a silver lining in all of this. In that, I know it's been a bad fire season, but as you recall, last year it was really bad. And listeners and watchers that are east of California, they're all getting our smoke all the way to Missouri. Mm-hmm. But this is the silver lining. If you recall, January or August of last year, we had the monsoon moisture come up, and we had lightning everywhere from August 16th to all through for the next week. We had a ton of lightning strikes. Monsoon season technically ends September 1st. So you know what, Michael and Grace? We got past the monsoon system, and we are likely not to have fires started by lightning for the next month or two, which is very fortunate. And if you think about that, so we are going to get the north winds. There's going to be some yahoo's going to start a fire up in Reddit or something, or someone's going to have their chain hanging from their trailer or from their camper that's going to start the fire like the car fire. You need to be all vigilant when you're doing that, and hopefully, so because of the north winds, we may still get some of these fires, but we are out of monsoon season, and that's a good thing for us because we're not going to experience the lightning strikes that we had from August 16th about August 30th last year.
Well, I sure hope you're right. I'm gonna get back to you if that doesn't hold out.
No, but that brings up a good point, because when I used to live down in Tucson, when I was, just got out of the service in the 70s, and the summertime, you would get the monsoons, and it would be just in one small part of the city of Tucson. It would just dump, but it would come up from the south. And I don't know, they say this may be a El Nino year or not an El Nino. We don't know yet, but I like what you said. You've doing some serious study. Do you ever get on the windy.com website or the application? Because it really sounds like you know a lot about weather forecasts.
Well, I am kind of a weather nerd. I don't get on Windy. I'm familiar with Windy, and I just learned about Zoom Earth. And for all you listeners out there, that is amazing. Or Zoom Earth, which is live pictures, live. It's like going to Google Earth, but it's live. So you can see all the heat on the fires and whatever. And there's a couple of video creators that I watch that are really good with fire, especially in Northern California. And I'll share them to you. It's great. But I wanted to be, yes, Michael, I wanted to be a meteorologist until when I got into junior college, and I realized how much math you have to take. And I was like, I'm not taking algebra and all that stuff. So I was a recreation. I became a recreation major, and I got a degree in recreation. That's why my bank account's at zero right now. But anyway, so we do. The weather is a big deal, and it is. And the monsoonal moisture, you may still get it in Arizona at this time of year, but it's less likely for that monsoonal moisture to whip up through the Southern California, more in Southern California, but not so much in Northern California. So I think we dodged a bullet as compared to the lightning and monsoonal moisture that was late in August last year.
Well, you know, it's funny, when Michael and I were in Idaho, we were in, starts with a W, honey. Wallace, Idaho, which is an amazing place. That video is going to be coming out, but it was, they pull more silver out of the mines in Wallace than anywhere else in the United States. And the town itself is really cute, really quaint, full of history. You know, it was up and coming in 1840s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and it burned down, and then everybody rebuilt. And then in 1910, there was, are you familiar with the Big Fire?
Up in Idaho or in San Francisco?
Yeah, in Idaho. It actually was Idaho, it was Washington, and Montana, and it burnt over 1 million acres. I think it's
70 years before our time, I might add, so we wouldn't remember it.
The second largest fire in the United States ever. And when I heard about it, it's weird because it almost made me feel better. And what started that fire was the train tracks, because the metal hitting metal.
Yeah, the sparks.
After the drought, the sparks of the train track started that fire. But you know, when we're living in these times now, you know, we just, you know, fire seasons, and we think that it's the first time, you know, but when we look back in history and we see that in a lot of ways, there's really nothing new under the sun, you know, whether it's, you know,
I think, yeah, the silver, again, another silver lining point is that all these fires that are across the West, it's gonna grow back. It may not be in our time, but it's gonna grow back. So
That
we
is
just
true.
have to,
Yeah.
we just have to pray for no loss of life and stuff. But the fires, you know, they'll grow back.
well, and you guys need to be careful in Roseville, because I've told my grandkids, and they're in Roseville, I said, y'all need to be really careful, because there's bears and mountain lion and foxes, and they're all coming down the hill now, and they're going to come visit you guys. We had a mountain lion in Petaluma, honey.
Yes, we did. Say,
Yeah,
just to kind of segue for just a second there about the fires and things, we have someone who hasn't been with us before. The Journey Awaits, and I've loved their channel there. I guess they're off on the right coast, the East Coast. So fortunately, I think in Florida, you're not getting as much of the stuff we do. But if I bring that up and I get myself a little bit
well, they're not
smaller
getting
here.
fire.
What's that?
They're not getting fire, but if they're in Florida, Ida think that maybe they getting something Ida.
Yeah, but in their channel, I love the fact that they've got all these places where they go around, I guess, Disney World and different places there. But as we take a look at it, it's that fun stuff they've got on there. And they're getting closer to the magic 1,775 subs. So along with all the rest of you there, if you want to go ahead and shout out your channels, we'd appreciate being able to have people come check a look at their stuff. But they've been doing, it looks like, a lot of due diligence themselves. So back to our sippy cups, is that what do you have maybe thought in the future? Do you just kind of do like oftentimes like we do, a wait and see and wing it? Or do you have kind of, you said, you got a lot of things that are kind of in the agenda. Do you have any thoughts on what you'd like to do the rest of the year?
Places burned.
Patty was talking about, you know, it's got to revisit places that have burned to give them some income, like, you know, Whiskey Town a couple of years ago with the car fire up in Shasta. We like to go back to the communities that have been affected and put a few dollars into their, you know, into their city with restaurants and hotel stays. And Michael, there isn't really anything in the future. Everything is going to be mostly spontaneous. Again, I have a bucket list of places that we would like to go. And weather and fires are going to dictate where we move forward. We do like to go to Half Moon Bay and Bodega Bay often. Walhalla, you know, Mendocino. It's been a while since we've been to Mendocino.
Oh, they're going to, yeah.
It's beautiful there.
So
it is gorgeous.
Yeah, and it just boils down to we'll be back in San Francisco the 17th and 18th and 19th for one of these trance music events on Treasure Island. It'll be outdoors. That'll be really cool. So we'll take a day trip to Bodega Bay or Stinson Beach. But it is some bucket list items and places we'd like to go, but it's all dictated on the weather and the fire, and make sure it's not smoky. And we're not going to pay for a place and not be able to go 6 months and say, what the heck, you know, and try to get a refund. So
yeah,
no big plans with Sippy Cup Adventures. If we're sticking to Northern California, there's no big plans. Patty can tell you real quickly what we're going to do next year in July.
Above and Beyond Group Therapy Weekender. And we're going to camp.
Camp?
We are going to, we're going to glamp in a trailer. And it is along the Columbia River. So you guys went to the canyon. And just the best thing is it's 3 days of music that we love. And then the next day we get to stay in a nice winery with a fabulous view and food and a real bath.
Yeah, in 2019, we took this weekend trip up
12-day trip
up to the Gorge Amphitheater. It was a 12-day trip, and we had never driven through Oregon and Washington. That's why videos about Oregon and Washington, we will just soak in, because we will watch that, and we have other followers. We're always looking at where to go, but we absolutely nailed the itinerary in 2019. From Mount Shasta to Hood River to the Gorge Amphitheater in George Washington. Yes, George, Washington, east of, and then on to Gig Harbor in the Puget Sound area, and then Lincoln City, Oregon. We absolutely nailed the itinerary. The weather was great, so we're
And then
looking to do
Chico.
it again.
Chico.
Oh, Chico's fun. I mean, that's a party college town.
There's a long story behind that, but so that's our plan. Trip is to do that, and maybe if we get a chance to go visit our son in the Navy, who will be in Virginia at that time, him and his girlfriend, and visit some friends in Florida. So those aren't spontaneous. Those are something we have to make plans for, and they are without the realm of Northern California, but we can get outside of Northern California, guys.
We can.
Okay. Well, I was kind of thinking, like, as I was hearing this, I thought, back in the days when, oh gosh, with Iraq and some of the areas where, the Saddam, and he's like sleeps in a different place. I said, you're kind of like that. You guys keep on the move.
No
Like, you're
bats.
hard to hit a moving target, aren't you? But no, seriously, is that I when you say some of these places, I said, oh, I used to live there. And then all of a sudden you mentioned, like, up there in Redding. Yeah, that was kind of where I grew up, and I would sometimes play golf up by like Mount Shasta in that area. So tell me a little bit about when you go up in that area, what you look forward to in the it's kind of the sportsman's paradise up there, but I don't feature you as getting a rod and reel out there. But what do you just kind of enjoy the good life?
Yeah, we like I said, we don't camp, we don't hike, and we don't fish. Our is getting a floaty and sticking it in the water with our music and the cooler and the cocktails. That's what we
And a good meal.
That's what we do.
You want to do that with me, Patty?
Some song?
I like that. Well, we definitely thank you guys for taking the time out of your evening there in San Francisco to join us, and we're really happy that we finally connected. I apologize again.
And Grace, can we hear what he says about Shasta? I can't wait to hear it.
No, we do. We've stayed at Shasta at Bridgeport, that part, the southern part of Shasta, and we've been back in a couple of years. Both times we rented a boat and we went and cruised the lake.
Beautiful, absolutely.
At Bridge Bay. I know there's like six different locations that you can rent boats. Both times we went to Bridge Bay, and the one year we did go to Whiskey Town before the car fire, which was absolutely gorgeous. So our plan, hopefully, maybe this fall, if not, next spring or summer, we're going to go back up to Whiskey Town and rent a boat there. Shasta and Whiskey Town, and we haven't quite visited Lassen, so we've got a place to stay in Lassen. I can't think of it off the hand, but Lassen National Park, which is currently the south part is being burnt by the Dixie Fire, but hopefully it'll be okay. Mm-hmm. So we stayed at Bridge Bay, so we'll hotel it or we'll find an Airbnb in Shasta, and definitely Whiskey Town again.
Well,
when it comes to those places, excuse me, I'll make it quick, Grace, is that Mineral is the city that is right adjacent to the Lassen National Park. And I can remember as a boy when my parents in the wintertime, we'd go snow skiing up there, be rope tow back in those days. But out at Lake Shasta, I was lucky. My folks had a houseboat out on the O'Brien Arm, which is north of the Bridge Bay. And then Whiskey Town is like, when I was in junior college, is that we would go out there. The water isn't quite as warm as Shasta, because it's Shasta, it holds it rather than flows through as much as Whiskey Town does. But out there at Brandy Creek or some of those places is great. The thing you were mentioning about, you could tell a lot of stories about Chico, and I'll save mine too. I won't talk about Pioneer Week or those kind of things. But up there at Whiskey Town is that there is a place called The Rope. Once you get over the top of the hill and you go down, and on the lake, there's one of the, the lakes, they have these inlets and they're kind of nice and sheltered. And there was a place called The Rope that had a rope that was about maybe 30 feet above the water, over 20 anyway, and more than a high diving board, that's for sure. And sometimes some of the kids would go kind of crawl up the big trunk and go out there to where they first tied the rope, and they would dive from there. And I got up there and it was like, ain't no way I'm going to dive from that distance, because you're not sure if you'll flip over.
Yeah.
I thought I will jump and I had to jump because there were people behind me, and it's not cool if you're like, what am I going to do now? So okay, I got to jump. And when I jumped, I made the mistake of having my hands out, like this, and I forgot to tuck them in. So when I hit the water, it was like, well, I learned that you will always tuck your hands in when you hit the water. And the guy that went behind me, he does this beautiful swan dive. And that's it. No, I'm never going to do it again. Well, I'm sure we all have some of our stories around water, don't we?
Well, I'm glad I brought up Reading in that area because it's part of your childhood and upbringing and, the places to go and, Chico State and Pioneer days. I'm a Cal Poly grad, so we had Mustang days, which got taken away. But I'm relieved to know that when you try to dive in the water that you didn't put the finger to the nose because it's difficult to do with just one hand.
And hold your beer.
You can't be graceful when you're always one hand and doing that. You got to have.
I'm always Grace.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got this close to Cal Poly. I think that I like to joke with the first time I made the top 10 in my life, my draft number was 9. I was accepted at Cal Poly. And then when I got out of the service, I was accepted at Chico State. But both times, life got in the way. But I love that area down in San Luis Obispo. And I've got many golf stories I could tell you about there. But Napomo, Black Lake, the whole area down there is gorgeous.
Okay, I just want to get this in real quick, and then I've got to go upstairs and take care of some little feet that I hear. But when you're up at Lake Shasta, I'm not sure if you're familiar, there are the caverns. It's a national landmark, and it's a 2-hour tour, and you go up quite a few stairs, and you go into the caves, and that is something really cool. That would make a great video. It's a little bit of hiking.
You know why we do? Do you know why?
Bad word.
Do you know why we don't do that?
Why?
No.
A, you said hiking, and B, there's people there.
Oh,
we're not doing
Bringing kids.
We're not doing the touristy things.
Okay, we'll go, and you can watch us.
You can live vicariously through others, right? And it's funny, all the times, I was just across that arm and didn't go there because, I had one of my elementary school buddies, Mike Anderson, his parents ran the place. And, it's sort of like, when you go into San Francisco, I used to go back and forth every day when I worked down near the Moscone Center on Folsom. And, it's just you look off and you see Alcatraz and Angel Island. It's just the same thing. I don't know. In the place where you live there, when we went up to near at Folsom Lake and then along the American River on the bike path, we
love that video.
We just went goo-goo over that. I thought we must do that many times again. Have you ever been out in that neck of the woods?
Folsom Lake?
Yeah.
That's our home lake.
Well, I thought you would. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, we've not much to see this year, but normally it's beautiful.
I was going to say, unfortunately, this year it's a pond.
Yeah, it's a pond. Yes. We did that. We did that trail that you guys did on bike when we first moved here in 2013 or 2014. We took the American River Trail along Lake Natoma. So we've recreated at Folsom Lake and at Lake Natoma, and we've taken the bike trail. But again, that was hiking, and now we're much more wiser, and we realize we don't want to hike on those long trails anymore. But we have been there, and that was a wonderful video that you guys did because it's home. It's our backyard.
So we have Tim here with us. Tim is very close to Folsom as well. And Tim, if you'd like to come up, the links up above. I'm going to excuse myself. I've got a couple of grandbabies up there, and I've got to get their dinner for them. But thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Great. We'll exit. We'll exit now, and I want to thank you very much. And I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. We'll figure it out. Michael,
not at all. We had a great time with y'all.
When we're here in the area, we'd like to go have dinner because I got stories of Black Lake and Napomo that you'd want to hear. So.
Oh, I will be looking for that. And when you get out our way, come by and, we'll have some tip the cup or whatever one does and maybe see some of the sites when you get out near Petaluma.
Thanks again, guys.
Check us out.
Michael's got a few minutes longer than I do if you want to stay. I just got to go.
We're going to go get a bite to eat before we fade away too much before we get to our thing. So our event.
Say hello.
Okay.
To Red before you go.
Nice to meet you.
Peace out.
See you later.
Okay, Red, I guess it's going to be you and I here, I think. Is it good to see you, hon? How you been?
Busy. How have you been? You guys been busy too.
Mostly better than I deserve, but tell us about your busyness.
I went to Branson meetup and I wasn't expecting to be able to go. I thought I was still going to be doggy sitting, but my friend got back from Alaska. She went to Alaska on the 22nd, so I went to the Branson meetup, and now I'm going to the M21 meetup, and I didn't expect to be able to go to that.
Yeah. Now, haven't you seen Dee recently? I want to say that I've seen something about you with Dee.
You did. You saw me with Dee pulling weeds, but that was back in April because
Okay,
Tanya Van Woods has just put that out.
Yeah. Okay,
recently.
that's why. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't get down to see Dee because it was 100 degrees down there,
Yeah.
and also
Mhm.
my niece moved from Flagstaff, and so she had just left there. I was going to go see my niece in Flagstaff and then go see Dee, but I was having those problems with my rig.
Right.
When I left Alsea Falls, I hit it. I clipped a garbage can, and then I had hail damage from Denver.
You mentioned I didn't know how serious that was, though. I mean, I hope it wasn't really bad.
Well, the leaks were over the bathroom and over the shower, so that was a good thing.
Okay, so it got to the what do you call them? The vents is what it hit.
It was the vent, and there was a skylight. There's a skylight over the shower, and then a night. Hey, Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth. Good to have you up.
I just met this guy in Branson.
He's the dude.
Yeah.
What's happening?
You should be a tour guide, I think, Kenny, because you show everybody the ropes.
I don't know about it now. It was a blast for sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and he ended up not having to camp, so because it was hot out there.
Yeah,
lots of bugs.
Yeah, and I don't do well with spiders in my tent.
Ooh, yeah, it was hot out there.
Because
oh boy.
Man,
now you have air conditioning in your rig?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were in Branson, I'm sorry, when we were up by the Grand Tetons, there were a couple days, we turned it on for a couple hours. There's no electricity. This was dry camping. And sometimes if it didn't need to do the whole rig, I could just turn it on in the front, of the engine that comes off of the RV. And sometimes, it'd be nice to cool it off. We had something, I don't know if I told any of you about this, but we all are familiar, of course, with Reflectex, and it's great to put over the windows. It's a great insulator, and there's also something called Aluminet. It sounds like aluminum net, which is kind of what it basically almost is, but rather than a solid piece of aluminum foil or something, it's kind of like a mesh, and so it's kind of interwoven, and the air kind of comes through it. Unlike if you have like a tarp or something, which just gets hot. But when you put the Aluminet out, is the air comes through, but the rays of the heat from the sun do not. And so most of our rigs on the passenger side is where you have the shade that you get from the awning. But on the other side, if it's facing towards the west, where, the sun is in the afternoon, it's hot. And so, I put, it must be about 16 feet long by about 10 feet wide. I just went up on the top of the rig and got some, heavy string and tied it up and let it go on the side. And so it did help in the afternoon sun on the side that you don't have the awning, so that it keeps it a little cooler. And that, I don't know if it made 5 or 10 degrees difference in the rig, but I didn't have to run the air conditioning quite as much that way, which was nice. Oh, do we have Northwoods here? Excuse me just a second. Man, I haven't seen Corey and Lori in quite a while. Good to have Tim here, but welcome if you're still here, but another great couple. So anyway, you're saying you're getting ready to go off to go even more east from where you're at now. How long is that going to take you to get there?
Oh, Michigan? No, I'm in Illinois right now.
Yeah, but I thought you said where you were going next.
North. I'm going to Michigan, the Michigan meetup.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to go east. Yeah. I was going to go to Georgia, but to see my oldest two children, and it's not a good time for my oldest.
okay.
So I'm not really sure why yet. But I think I might be able to see them after Mayberry because I'll have a little time after.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah.
I'll be down. So now, and it was the same with All-See Falls because I didn't expect to leave my brothers in April. I wasn't going to leave my brothers in April. And so that's how I ended up at the All-See Falls meetup. So it's kind of been fun.
Good. Well, it sounds like you're kind of extemporaneous. I just kind of wonder, I don't know if you have a bet with my buddy, Kevin, the Nomac experience, but I'm wondering which one of the two of you are going to have the most miles racked up at the end of this year.
I don't know, but I sat here in this house. I'm back here for the, I'm babysitting Blue. Blue, say hello. Come here, Blue.
Oh, I love dog time. Doggy time.
Doggy time. Come here, Blue.
Hey, Luke.
Every time I get the, come over here so you can see.
What a great dog.
Yeah.
He loves the attention too. I can see that.
Yes, he does.
Oh.
Yes, he does.
I love the markings too on his neck. Isn't it? I've not seen many dogs with the white on his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool markings.
Yeah, he's a blue pit.
Beautiful.
I forget what the full name.
He looks pretty muscular too.
He's 10 years old, so he's an old guy.
Mm.
Yeah, and but it's raining. So
speaking about Michigan, we've got Corey and Lori here, and I don't know if you do what they do, but everybody from Michigan, where they say where they're at, if they're talking about going up to the north part of the state, well, on the palm, it's up there about at this knuckle. So do you know what part of the palm is where you're going in Michigan?
It's Merrill. I just made the reservation, so I don't.
I think it's
really
about
know.
like by my wedding ring, maybe it's about where it's at there. Corey and Lori, maybe you can make sure, it's like, where are we going on here? And so, Kenny, how about you? You got anywhere you're going to be getting out of Dodge, out of your home city in the future this year?
I'm going to be going to Mayberry in October.
That's why I heard you were going. I'm glad that's still on. So
and we're going to go to the beach.
And then we're going to go to the beach after that.
We're going to go to Carolina Beach because Kenneth hasn't been to the beach yet.
Sweet.
I haven't been to the beach.
No, life's a beach, Kenny. Life's a beach.
I'm not going to let Sean steal that from me.
Sean Lori said in the middle of the palm, a little bit lower than my ring, I guess, in the middle of the palm.
Oh, Merrill.
Yeah, Merrill.
Yeah.
It's like up, straight north.
Mm-hmm.
The beach is like 4 hours from Mayberry, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to the Carolina Beach. That's something else I need to do while I'm here is make that reservation.
Yeah, I told Grace when 2 years ago when we were going around the states and from the northern states and coming down, I said, if we don't have time to go to Florida, I need to go to Myrtle Beach. I've heard a lot about Myrtle Beach. And so that was our and it really isn't on the way to anything. You've got one road that a freeway or whatever, it goes in and it comes out. But it was really nice. Like you said, Kenny, you want to go see the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, see, I've never seen the ocean in my 26 years of living. So
wow, yeah.
And it's a nice beach with a boardwalk and everything. I don't know yet if we're gonna make him like put his feet in the sand or feet in the water or something.
Well, here's the thing, Kenny, is that I want you to compare. I wonder if you're have the nose like my wife does. When Grace gets within 10 miles of the ocean, she's like, oh, I can smell the ocean, Michael. I can smell that ocean. I'm like, I don't smell it.
I'm missing California so bad, Michael. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be back there in probably December, I'm thinking.
Oh, well, I hope we get to see what part of the state you're going to be in.
Southern.
Yeah.
But I can come up there.
That might be something to do as we kind of get out in the RVs or something. But we're going to be, I think it's January 7th to about the 13th or something like that is when the escapers are going to meet at Lake Havasu. And then I'm hoping that I can then also see some of the folks. I know Dee is talking about doing something at the Quartzsite area.
I want to go to that. Yeah,
I'd love to see.
We're thinking about flying him out there for that.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? That
he has the
that be
FOMO
something?
really bad, Michael. He doesn't want to miss any of these things.
We got to get you kind of a taste of the good life here, Kenny. We don't want to hook you. We don't want to get you addicted. But we want to at least have a taste of it.
Yeah, he wants an RV now, I'm sure. Don't you, Kenneth?
Yeah. Well, I'd like to turn that 85 40 Cutaway van into one.
That's something.
But see, mine's a Chevy though, so.
You saw Marshall's stuff, didn't you, there, Kenny? So, Marshall, I love the way he did. He's kind of like Tim, the more bang for your buck. You don't have to have a big rig to have something that is still quite functional.
Yes, because that gets good gas mileage too.
My dad has a hard time. My dad has a hard time judging distance.
I was just going to ask you, would your dad do the driving?
Well, see, he's not really into traveling much. See, I'm the opposite. I like to get out and do it. And he doesn't. He does just stick around here to
What
he hears you talking.
What does your dad like to do? Does your dad have any hobbies or things that he likes to do?
Well, I mean, he likes working puzzles.
Puzzles, okay. But I find that sometimes if you don't really want to see the sights, you go to different cities and you can find out if you have hobbies or sports or entertainment, music, whatever it is, you can find out what goes on, what makes people tick in those other cities. And I mean, even something like you say, oh, you like puzzles, but you go to some of these cities, like let's say San Jose. And, do they have here in Petaluma, in fact, do they have a maze? We have a corn maze. The corn is starting to grow. And I don't know if you go to some of these states where they have these all mazes that are incredible. Yeah, all over the state.
I'm in the Midwest.
In the Midwest for sure. So, some of the things that you like to do, even if you don't realize the benefits of camping, but, and others is, no, I don't have any sports. And well, what do you like to do? I like to visit with other people. Well, hey, guess what? When you go in your RV or tent camping or even like Sippy Cup, where you just like to go, and you say, I don't want to be around a lot of people, but you normally meet people where you stay or you visit. And I find like we do here online, where you can learn so much from the good folks just when you go to see. And so, these TGF, howdy, I saw we were talking about small rigs are the way to go. And when we were up there at the Grand Tetons area with the escapers, and, they have the social time, but you visit with the people, but then you look at the rigs and things too, and see all the different possibilities. And it's sort of like, when we were kids and your teacher says, you got to go up in front of the class. Like, I don't want to do that. No, you're going to do some show and tell. And oh, okay. So I'm going to talk about I kind of like puppets with the grandkids like that. So, it's like, here's my favorite is the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh, I need a puppet like that. Where did you get that, Michael?
I think it's called the Puppet Store, I think is where it is. But I should put his arms in here like that. But it's so much fun. Yeah. So anyway, I guess for your dad and other people, I would just say is that, sometimes, we think we like to stay home, and I'm kind of that way too, until I get out, and then I'm thinking, why haven't I gotten out more often? This is like so cool. Even if even if it's bad weather, just to meet the people, have a good meal, whatever, just to have new experiences, I guess. Mm-hmm. And you get a lot of those, don't you, Kenny? Because you're online a lot more than I am.
Yeah, I'm somewhere around the YouTube streets.
So I was sleeping, Michael, and in my RV at Branson, and I woke up. You know how when you're like our age, you wake up to go to the bathroom like 2 a.m. and I hear Kenneth talking. I hear RVing with G. I hear Amy Kephart.
Okay, they're here.
He's
huh?
on a live. And I didn't hear William. William's quiet.
Amy's doing
I
a
think
lot
he
of
loves you.
live streams these days, isn't she?
Yeah,
Good for her.
she's doing more with her channel.
So, is this a birthday girl we have today?
Who?
I don't know. Are we talking about Sue?
Oh, and Tim was there. Okay. Tim, you're not very talkative either on the live. I heard Georgie.
I think Sue's birthday is Monday, I believe.
Well, can you two help me with it? Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
you.
Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you and many more. Thank you for that.
I got one coming on the 27th.
Oh wow, you too, huh? Well, I better get my singing voice. Just tighten
He's
up.
a Libra like me. Mine's on the October 13th.
Okay, I'm in November.
That must be why we
Thanksgiving.
clicked.
I'm a turkey boy. So, what are you going to be? 26, Kenny?
And going to be 27.
He's going to be 27 on the 27th.
Yep.
You're getting old. Are you going to turn in and get your Social Security now?
No.
My younger son is just almost exactly a year older than him. My younger son is going to be 28 on the 14th of this month. Yeah,
well, I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing with your kids. That's a wonderful thing, is to have these great kids that we try to show them the way and make the world a better place. And Tim says,
yeah.
Oh, November 21st. I'm the 22nd. Hey, Tim, we got to get together for birthdays, bro. As we know, is that every 7 years our birthday comes on Thanksgiving. So that's interesting. And look what Grace has here.
What?
She says, barbecue. Time for me to start up the barbecue. The meat is ready. I guess she's marinated it. So she's giving me the hook, sadly, as much as I'd like to visit with you guys some more. But thank you, Kenny, for being an awesome mod, and for Susan, and for all of you being here, and for Red and Kenny for coming up. I always appreciate being able to see you. So we've got a lot of Saturdays coming up. So let's do more.
I look forward to meeting y'all in person one day.
And that I can't wait for, my friend. Yes, you guys are great. So as we always end the show with, happy trails to you until we meet again. Peace out. Bye for now. Okay. See you guys on the tubes. Bye-bye.
Bye.